Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. Two fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrate the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! Welcome, everybody. This is yet another edition of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. I'm Blade Daly, and I'm not joined by the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the greatest Canadian pro wrestling podcaster in the history of pro wrestling podcasts. No, Joshi G can't be here. So instead, I am joined by the husband of the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the husband of the greatest Canadian pro wrestling podcaster in the history of pro wrestling podcasts. I am joined by the one, the only, Joshi J.
Hey, by Blade, I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute,
yeah,
man.
there has been so much crazy stuff happening in wrestling lately, man. My head's been spinning, and I can't wait to get into this because AEW was just barbarous Wednesday night. I mean, oh my
yes, it
God.
was. Yeah. How you been otherwise, man? What's going on in your world, man?
It's crazy. Like, because I was thinking, I never even bought a PS5 because I don't know. I was reading a lot of books at the time, and I just didn't really have room for it. But like, I did download the old GTA pack of the 3 games on PS2 that were like remastered. I barely touched them. So I was playing through Vice City recently, and like the first time I'd played Vice City since I think it was 2002. When it came out, and man, it's like the only Grand Theft Auto game where I didn't have a feel for the map after that long. Like I felt like I was so lost playing Vice City because like any other GTA game, no matter how long it's been, like you've driven over the map a million times, you remember it's like your own city practically, but Vice City, I was so lost, man. It was like I was playing it for the first time again, the wonky controls and everything. But man, the soundtrack is a banger, bro, and that's like the best reason to replay. And it's like it's also pretty cool just the fact that it's like it's essentially an unlicensed Scarface game.
Basically, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you may not have got like a committed Scarface game, but like the closest thing to it is definitely Vice City, man.
Absolutely. Love Vice City, love Scarface as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I actually got a PS5 because on my Switch, I bought the Grand Theft Auto, that same trilogy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
sweet.
I was doing the exact same. I was going to play them in order. And so I struck up Grand Theft Auto 3, and I'm like, this is too basic. And then...
yeah, for real. The plane doesn't even leave the ground.
No. And I was like, I enjoyed Vice City, but I was like, let me just remember San Andreas here for a minute. And San Andreas was the one I got totally sucked into. Also an amazing soundtrack.
The gang wars. You
Hell
just
yeah.
like get addicted to them. You want to take over the whole map block by block on that game, man.
Yep. That's what I was doing. And then I told Joshi this on the show. I was accidentally shopping on Black Friday. And I just walked past a PlayStation 5. I'm like, I've owned every other PlayStation except a PlayStation 5. And I looked at it and I walked away for a little while and I was like, okay, you're not buying a PlayStation 5. I bought a PlayStation 5.
You bought the PlayStation 5. No.
I want GTA 6, man. It's
That's probably going to be what breaks my back and makes me get it eventually because
breaks your back and makes you humble, right? Like,
I mean, because every time I hear news about it, I just think, and I'm like, because it's been so long. It's been like, 5 years now since it's dropped. And it's a lifetime of the life cycle of each system is about 7 years. So that's why I was wondering, like, if this late in it, like you probably start hearing about PlayStation 6 and about the turn of 2027, I would guess. just rough shot in the dark there. But yeah, I don't know. But I don't know if it's going to make much difference when GTA drops and it gets an immediate 10. You know,
it looks real good.
Everybody. Yeah, man, it looks huge.
It looks massive and super realistic, and I'm excited. I hope the story's good. The previews I've seen look really good. I'm a Rockstar guy. I love Rockstar games. They're
everything.
A lot of fun, except those Manhunt games are terrifying.
Did you like Bully?
I've never played Bully, but I have the subscription to the Rockstar. So, you know, now with like online PlayStation Plus and all that shit, you can subscribe to Rockstar. So I didn't have to buy like Red Dead Redemption 1 when I wanted to play it. I just $8 a month subscribe. But Bully is available that way as well. And
I think you would like it. I bet I would like it a lot.
I bet I would.
Yes, sir. It's one of my favorites. Like before it came out, they had a lot of controversy as being like a Columbine game, but it's so funny because it's like nothing even remotely like that. But.
No, the media needs stupid shit to get upset about. Speaking of stupid shit to get upset about, we're about to do it. When we come back.
All right.
And we're back. Okay. Joshi J, are you ready to clutch your pearls?
Yeah, let's hear this stupid shit already. Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you ready to get offended about something that was awesome and act like it sucked or that it's wrong or that it's bad for you or the wrestlers or somebody because you just want to get a leg up on people who enjoyed something?
That's right.
Yeah, that's pro wrestling, baby. So the MOX spot. Holy shit.
That was some Roman Coliseum shit, man. That was like over the top. It was absolutely insane. Like it's something you would expect on, a pay-per-view or something.
Yes.
But I mean, to see that like on, national television, I just in prime time, that was just wow. Like I cannot believe they got away. I can't believe they were able to talk Tony into that.
I don't know that they thought it was going to be as bad as it was. Honestly, I think Mox probably hoped it would be that bad.
I would think not.
He's a sick fuck, Mox is. But just for those who may not have seen Dynamite, Cope and Mox had a rematch from Revolution. It's a no DQ match. It was way better than the Revolution match, like a million times better.
Very intense.
Very intense yes. match. These guys both love this kind of shit.
I mean, do you think they think that main event would have got shit on as much as it did if this had been the match they had won with instead?
I mean, this felt like a make good almost.
Yeah, right?
good on them, Good on them for going, hey, I don't want people talking shit about us like this. Let's show them what we can do. And what I loved was, so Copeland has this weapon that he calls Spike, and it's basically like I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like a huge, flat stick with spikes on both sides, right? And I have a theory about it. So this whole time, I've thought those spikes are rubber, right? So it makes a big slappy sound when you hit somebody with it, but it doesn't bust them open. I think this one worked very cleverly. This is like a magic trick, okay? I rewatched this match. And when Cope grabs Spike, everybody's like, ooh. And he hits Moxley in the back and the stomach with it. But Mox doesn't even bleed, okay? I think one side was rubber, and that's what he hit him with first. Then Cope suplexes Mox onto the spikes. Mm-hmm. And that was not the rubber side.
Maybe he fell on the wrong side of the thing. That's what you're saying. Oh, man, that's not a bad...
I think it was very intentional. I just think, like, they kind of are working with your own psychology of making you like, those are rubber spikes. And
they could have told Tony that, so they could have been like, whoops, shit, fell on the wrong side. Give me a break.
So it turns out, these were real spikes. What this results in is a giant spiked sticking in the back of Jon Moxley, the crowd going absolutely apeshit, everyone at home either screaming or clapping or vomiting. And the worst part of the whole ordeal is Wheeler Yuta running down to ringside and trying to pull this out of Moxley's back, and you see the skin on his back stretching. Like, this is stuck in his back. And the ref basically looks at Yuta and goes, go do your spot with Copeland. I'll figure this out. And the ref just, like, figures it out immediately. But, like, and Yuta gets, like, powerbombed through a table, and Moxley ends up fucking winning this match, by the way.
Yeah.
He did, like, that's the end of the match for a lot of people. You know what I mean? For Jon Moxley, this is just another day at the office, baby.
Oh, nearly taking nails through your spinal cord, like coming a matter of inches from being paralyzed practically. I mean, yeah, just another day, right? Yeah. That's Mox, man. Shit.
Jesus Christ. This man is a maniac. He is.
I think that he is the boldest signing AEW probably had in its early years, besides obviously Omega. But I mean, like, I'm talking about, like a WWE guy. Like, this was the best possible choice they could have made. And I mean, he's just been a maniac since day one.
Well, and no shade at anyone else, because, there's lots of good reasons why. The Elite have had injuries. They've had all this other shit to deal with. The stuff with Punk and all that. There was Punk, who just wasn't the guy that he said he was. And Jericho did his part, but he could only do it so long. Mox has been the glue. Mox has been the MVP of AEW for the first 5 or 6 years now. And even though this Death Rider story isn't the greatest, in my opinion, Mox himself remains great and always will. I shudder to think what would have happened to AEW through that whole Punk fiasco, that whole year-long nightmare. I shudder to think what would have happened to AEW if Mox wasn't there.
Yeah. They were very fortunate to have him. He deserves everything that he gets in AEW for sure. And yeah, man, Mox is he's been an anchor, like you said, a key cornerstone of their entire world title division. So an ace, if you will. So
he's the ace. He is the ace. And if he ends up being a 6 or 7 time champion, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah. So what?
But at the end of the day, they had a huge storm. It kept a lot of people from making flights, and it was rumored that Moxley had spent 11 hours driving to this show. And people were like, man, this guy drove 11 hours to this show and had to take a suplex on these spikes. What a hero. And I'm like, guys, that was the best. That was why he drove 11 hours. He's like, I'm getting suplexed on spikes on TV. Yes, we are doing this. He would have run if he had to.
No, they need to build a statue of him in front of that arena for all of time.
They do. Yes, they do. Or in Daly's place or something, like preferably with the bat stuck in his back, like him reacting like that. But anyway, there was a ton of discourse. Look, people, if this isn't for you, I get it. It's fine. I understand. But to those who are like, this isn't wrestling, this is bad, AEW should get canceled, I just want to thank you, because you saying that online made more people watch it. And the minute you say, like, this is too much for TV, people want to see it. So thank you. Keep it up. Yep. AEW's rating was higher this week. So you're doing a great job. Thank you, plebes. We appreciate it.
Start telling people that you're going to hell if you watch AEW. That always helps too,
yeah. Or that AEW's booked by Satan or something like that. Like, do it. Ratings. It is the devil himself, the snowman, fucking Tony Khan, Satan himself.
That's it. That's perfect. Book it.
Speaking of not Satan himself, the New Japan Cup was recent.
Yeah.
Just concluded, my friend. And I got to say, I do this every fucking year. Okay. I watch Wrestle Kingdom. It's great. I love it. I'm super motivated. I watch New Beginning. Love it. Great. Super motivated. And then every single fucking year, I fall off right at New Japan Cup till about Best of the Super Junior / Dominion. And then I'm locked in for the summer with G1. And then I kind of tune out again till Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the best time of the year for sure. You have to be.
Yeah. Other than like the big events, like I tend to kind of lose track. And so the New Japan Cup just concluded. Let's talk about it. You got the information. First of all, it had been heavily rumored that some key people might be leaving. I saw rumors that Evil was going to go to WWE. I saw it's widely reported that Jeff Cobb is leaving to go to WWE.
Right.
There was some concern that Gabe Kidd and David Finlay are not under contract. So how do the results bear that out? Like, what are your interpretation from that?
Well, I mean, I think Jeff Cobb is the one I think a lot of people were most fearful of leaving the promotion because he's always been such an integral part of the division, especially against, any rival of United Empire. He's one of the last really big players in United Empire left. And after, Ospreay joining AEW, that stable is kind of, teetering on relevancy at this point, but Cobb has always delivered, and he delivered massively in this tournament. I mean, his matches he had a huge upset against Naito, and his match against Shota Umino especially were two of the best matches of the entire tournament from anyone. But after losing to Umino, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't have a title. I don't think. I think he's the less tied to the promotion right now. They kind of also played into online rumors after he won his first match, but he against Naito. But then again, like his very next match was a loss, and he was out. So I think that if any of those three you mentioned are going to be leaving in JPW imminently, I think Cobb will be that guy. But as you also mentioned, David Finlay was also rumored to be leaving. In fact, he wasn't even announced like as being a part of the New Japan Cup for months. He was one of the last people, if not the last person they announced for it. I didn't pick Finlay to go further than the first round. And I mean, 3 of the 4 people I picked to make the quarterfinals did make the quarterfinals. The one exception was Finlay, because I had picked Evil going all the way in this tournament. Evil did not go all the way. He was beaten by Finlay, and Finlay went on to win the whole thing. Finlay is now like the NJPW Cup winner of 2025 and is set up for a match against Hiroki Goto, IWGP champion, at Sakura Genesis next month. Now, actually, that's only 2 weeks from today.
Right.
So, yeah, in 2 weeks, David Finlay could be the IWGP champion for all we know. I mean, that's where it's headed. He's went a lot further than I thought he was going to go in the New Japan Cup. So, I mean, he's certainly a guy to keep your eye on, especially with this Bullet Club. Well, I should say Bullet Club War Dogs / House of Torture.
Right.
Rivalry that was constant every night of the New Japan Cup. It was just constant run-ins. There was a tag team match between the two that was immediately followed by a 5-on-5 match between the two. It's been really heating up. I believe they're feuding over who is the proper Bullet Club.
Right.
So that's probably going to be something that could interfere in this world title match that he has against Goto next month. We'll see. But there's a lot of stuff they could do with Finlay. That's what intrigues me. And it doesn't look like it's somebody that's getting ready to leave New Japan.
Right. Well, I don't know that David Finlay really has a lot of options outside of New Japan that are bigger right now. AEW doesn't really seem like they're looking for a lot of people. I mean, why would they be? They're so stacked.
What would they possibly do with him right now?
And what would WWE do with him? I mean, really, there isn't any room for him on those rosters. I think he's a great in-ring competitor. him and Yoda Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it, but he just doesn't have that charisma. And I think it really, we were talking about this before we started.
Yeah.
I think it really stands out when a guy in your own faction, Gabe Kidd, is way more over
killing
than you are.
Just
and
absolutely
Gabe Kidd,
killing it.
This is one of those very special Gaijin kind of relationships with the Japanese audience. It actually reminds me quite a lot of Kenny Omega, where it's so natural. And this audience has just very organically gotten behind Gabe. My question, House of Torture are never going to be baby faces. Are the War Dogs baby faces?
Well, that's the thing. If you're talking about David Finlay, he is absolutely not a baby face.
No, I mean, I can't imagine him as a baby face.
He gets jeered, but Gabe Kidd and now even Drilla Mahoney are both starting to draw very positive reactions every night, but they are all part of the War Dogs. The War Dogs is essentially all the white guys, and the House of Torture is mostly all the Japanese guys.
Right.
But that's just how it looks on paper. But they're both kind of fighting over the Bullet Club banner. So now they have I think it's Sakura Genesis. They're going to have, right now House of Torture holds the Never 6-man titles, and they're going to face Bullet Club, which is going to include Gabe Kidd and Drilla Maloney. And they're going to battle it out for those titles. But aside from that, I mean, I don't know. It looks like this could be something that drags out for most of the year. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's so weird. Gedo has really gotten away from, New Japan up through like 2019, 2020 is like no screw jobs, really. Bullet Club was the original mold breaker where there started to be some run-ins, before all of that. But it wasn't all the time, And Evil used to be one of my favorite guys in New Japan when he was in LIJ. I cannot stand House of Torture or Evil. He's a great wrestler. And I think the problem for me with House of Torture and Evil specifically, and Dick Togo, Jesus Christ, is the complete lack of creativity to the cheating. Is like, it's not that they cheat. They cheat the exact same way over and over. And I mean, Evil has the same dick kick. It's the exact same dick kick. It's not even delivered in a more clever way the next time, It's
not subtle. It's not clever. It's excessive. It happens every single time any of them have a match. You're right. I mean, the one thing that it does give Evil, though, and you mentioned he was one of the people rumored to be possibly leaving New Japan. The reason I personally am not on board with that is because the one good thing about Evil is that he is the only completely unredeemable villain in New Japan. He is the only guy that just has no qualities whatsoever that anyone cheer for. He is the lowest of the low, the scum of the fucking earth in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think that is why it's not the best idea to let him go right now, even though his matches obviously can make you slap your freaking head. It's just I get it. You're watching a really good match that, you come to expect in New Japan. Right. And then it just devolves into a shit fest whenever Dick Togo or whoever runs in with a pair of nunchucks, in plain sight of the referee. I don't care. Disqualify us. We're here to hurt this son of a bitch. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what they contribute to New Japan.
Yeah.
It's the most villainous.
Yeah, it's villainous, but almost in go away kind of way.
It can be, for sure.
It can be. Yes. It's case by case. But, they took a guy like Ren Narita who I felt had some potential just before this, and I literally cannot stand to watch this guy wrestle right now. I hate him. I hate him. X-Pac hate him. I just don't like the guy. Show.
I mean, that's everyone in House of Torture.
Yeah, Show. he's a fantastic wrestler, and I just think he's kind of wasted in House of Torture. So hopefully the War Dogs triumph over House of Torture. House of Torture breaks up. They all get, like, Dick Togo gets put on an island and sent into the sea. And
fingers crossed.
Yeah,
yes,
and Bullet Club War Dogs are like the edgy baby faces. Gabe Kidd beats the shit out of David Finlay, who also flies into the sun. And then we're all one and we're all happy. Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
It's a fairy tale ending for sure. It's definitely a possible way this could all go. You never know. I mean,
makes it kind of whimsical. Yeah.
I mean, I think getting beaten by Hiroki Goto next month could be a blow to Finlay and give him enough reason to leave as it is. But I like your idea too.
Yeah. We have to put Dick Togo in a cannon and shoot him far away so that he can never come
away.
Back. Far
over
away.
The Korea Peninsula, into the South China Sea forever.
Absolutely. He has to swim back. And he can't. His arms aren't strong enough. So what are some of the other matches from this that you would recommend if people wanted to just kind of check out the highlights?
Well, I mean, Bolton Oleg was really good. Like, he was really a breakout in this tournament, I found. I mean, the first match against Fale wasn't amazing, but it definitely showed you how strong this guy is. And he went in and had a match with Shingo Takagi in the second round. That is a must-see. It really shows what this guy's capable of. He's also got a lot of natural charisma that's the fans there are responding to very positively. And I just don't see this guy staying in Hantai, the New Japan home faction. I don't see him staying unaffiliated very long. I think it's very possible he's going to fill void in either United Empire, or they could throw him in Bullet Club into the War Dogs too. Either would work, but I'm leaning more towards United Empire for him. And the other was really one of the first matches that I thought was what stood out as one of the best, and it was Zack Sabre Jr. versus his TMDK partner, Ryuhei Oiwa, one of the other new Three Musketeers that New Japan has been really high on since the last couple of years. So, but that one, I didn't expect much from it because, I mean, I didn't even expect it to happen. I figured that, Oiwa would probably lose to Chase Owens in the first round just so there wouldn't be a TMDK versus TMDK match. But it happened, and it was actually a really good match, and I highly recommend that one. But other than that, the main event, the final between David Finlay and Shota Umino is certainly worth a watch, especially because of the closing scene between Finlay and Umino. What he tells Shota that might lead more to Shota's continuing downward spiral. It looks like they're going to drive him mad. He's going to become more and more unhinged every month. But I think this latest defeat, after losing the Wrestle Kingdom main event and then losing to Great-O-Khan at New Beginning, and now finally having a great run in the Cup, only to be defeated by Finlay in the final. I'm really intrigued by where they're going with this because Umino was not well received last year.
Too much too soon.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that he's Red Shoes, son, the main referee in New Japan. But they also were, his criticism was like he was a caricature of past New Japan champions, and that's just not what they wanted. So now it looks like they're kind of going an edgier direction with Shoto. So we'll see later this year where that leads. But I thought that was one of the more intriguing takeaways from the entire tournament, even though it didn't involve the winner. But yeah, it's headed somewhere interesting, and we'll see in the next couple months.
Wrestling's about storytelling. It's not all about necessarily who wins all the time. It's like, what does a loss do for somebody? And that sounds to me like Shooter is, they have plans, and that's good. That's good for him. I like Shota Umino. I think he was given too much too fast, and honestly, I think Yota Tsuji's a little ahead of him. And
he had a great year last year. Yota Tsuji. He's one of those other musketeers, and I mean, man, he has been great in LIJ. And yeah, man, he and Evil are gonna have a barn burner, I think, next month at Genesis over that global title.
Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, there's a lot more that's cool, and we're gonna talk about it when we come back. People, stick around. We're back. We're New Japan Cupped. We're Moxified.
Hi y'all. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And another thing. So we're not just doing like show rundowns this week, okay? And we're gonna kind of get away from doing that. We're just talking about the big stories in wrestling because there's so much to talk about. But one of the other cool things from Dynamite that really blew me away, one, every time AEW has like a travel issue where like half the roster can't get to the show, they put on a fucking amazing show. Like even AR Fox versus Will Ospreay, just total banger, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like poor Ospreay just looks half dead out there. But AR Fox, I just want to give a special shout out to my boy AR. He's really, really good. Probably like, he's like, I hate that he's in this role, and yet I understand. He's like the greatest enhancement talent I've ever seen in my life. Like,
he's a hard ass worker, that guy, for sure.
And his offense is so bizarre and innovative and unique. He's just great, man. And he's trained a lot of great people too. So hats off to AR Fox and Will Ospreay for the incredible match. We had that incredible 4-way at the beginning with the dumb finish where Speedball and Ricochet pinned Mark Davis at the same time. And that it's going to be Speedball Mike Bailey and Ricochet versus Kenny Omega in a triple threat at Dynasty, which I will not complain about.
I mean, that's how Ricochet's been hanging around even since last week on Collision. I mean, he's been sneaking his feet up on those ropes and, you know, raking in these cheap, shit-eating heel wins. And he's doing such a good job. That's why I can't even really hate on the fact that he snuck his way in, you know? He's doing it so well.
I fucking love Ricochet, man. Like, this is the best Ricochet we've ever seen. Like, this guy, I didn't even realize he's as old as he is. He's like 36, 37, something like that. This guy is, you know, we talk about him every week on this show because he's always worth talking about. And my God, he is just a heat magnet. Like, and the people of Omaha, Joshi and I were talking about this in a message this morning. The people of Omaha really like Speedball Mike Bailey. Good God. And I know that you have kind of a history. Both of you have kind of a history as folks from the Montreal area.
Oh, dude, me and Joshi G have seen Speedball live. I mean, I'm really not trying to even sound like I'm bragging about it. It's just the fact that he has wrestled at every promotion we have ever gone to, like local promotion in the Montreal area. Even like in Ottawa, like their C4 promotion used to book him like a lot, you know, and he's wrestled everywhere. So it's just so happens almost every like independent show me and Joshi G would attend, he would be on the card somewhere, and we've seen him tear it up with everyone. I mean, he's had some. We've seen him in places like this old place called Bar 99. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. It didn't survive COVID, but it was one of the dirtiest, like ugliest looking venues you ever see. But it was small. It was so small. It was a literal bar that they would set up a full wrestling ring in, but you had such good seats, no matter where you were in there. It was our favorite local promotion because of that. And yeah, Speedball wrestled there like numerous times. He dove off the balcony there. We saw him dive off the balcony at MTELUS in downtown Montreal. I mean, he's been in every promotion like that promotion at Bar 99. They were called LDDC, but they don't exist anymore. But IWS is the big one. They have existed for a very long time. I think most would consider that the biggest independent wrestling promotion in the Montreal area for sure. They're like our ECW. They're, you know, they're known for being extreme, using lots of violence and stuff. but also I believe he also wrestled for FLQ, which wrestled at Bayne in the center of the island in Montreal. We have seen this guy wrestle everywhere, like fucking everywhere. And so, yeah, seeing him like finally get this opportunity in AEW, seeing him on TV. Oh yeah, man, that was a big win for Montreal. I think everybody here that, was really happy for him, because we've been following Mike Bailey's career for the past 7, 8 years, so it's been a while. It's been cool watching him come up, man.
To go from Bar 99, right, to like
the
people of Omaha, Nebraska chanting Speedball, right?
Yeah.
In his second week, in his second match on television, right? Yep. And now this motherfucker is wrestling Kenny Omega and Ricochet on pay-per-view. That's so fucking cool. I got to watch, Darby Allin kind of rise through the ranks the same way, Swerve. I got to watch, they're from my area. So like I got to see them on the indies and then watch them rise to that level. And it's awesome, man. There's nothing like it.
It's cool to see. It's really cool to see them work their asses off and finally get that opportunity. And I'm glad to see people who are responding to him. Well, I know a lot of people think he's kind of small, but trust me, they're going to see what he's about. This guy is a fucking black belt and I believe jiu-jitsu, and he's a freaking maniac. Like his standing moonsaults are very commonplace. Eventually, you're going to see him do that to people laying on the ring apron. He incorporates that a lot into his offense. You're going to see this guy go freaking wild eventually. I guarantee it.
The other thing that was noteworthy from Dynamite, we had 2 women's matches, and not only did we have 2 women's matches, they didn't book these matches because of the travel situation. They were booked way in advance. Okay, we found out on Collision that we were going to get the mega sis, Megan Bayne. Hats off to the Bayne Maniacs out there. And Kris Statlander. They were going to fight again. Okay. And then we were getting Mercedes Moné versus Billie Starkz. And I got to say, both these matches delivered massively.
Yeah, and I think the weather situation definitely made them a bit longer than they probably would have gone. Because I tell you right now, I was very, very surprised how much offense Billie was putting on Moné. I mean, that's like for dude, she's 20 years old, man.
I know,
They were making her look like legit against. I mean, arguably the greatest women's wrestler on planet Earth.
Right.
Okay. And they really gave her a lot. And that was interesting to me. Not that I don't disagree with it at all, but it's just something that you don't see much of in other promotions. Like you don't see them really pull the trigger on somebody like that so early. But Billie, she's been really hot, like right out the gate, and really caught on in AEW quickly. And I enjoyed their match immensely, for sure.
Yeah, there was a very scary moment in that match where Billie has her in kind of this electric chair position, and then she does this drop by the ropes. And I really thought she dropped her straight on her head. I'm like, Mercedes has got a broken neck for sure. She covers her by the ropes, and I'm so sure Mercedes is going to take the pin because she's injured that I didn't even notice she got her foot on the ropes. And
I didn't either, because she wasn't moving at all.
No, and the ref was checking with her too, like, are you okay, kind of thing. And so that was so well done and so awesome. And after the match, Mercedes retains. Really great finish, too, by the way, where Billie tries to do like a senton onto Mercedes on the apron. Mercedes moves. Billie sits up. Mercedes brings her in with a cross pinfall. And as soon as Billie kicks out, she puts her in the CEO, whatever version of the bank statement, that she calls it now.
Crossface.
The crossface, yeah. And Billie submits. But later on in the show, Renee is interviewing her, and she says, who trained her? Like, I mean, so we are going, like, my alarms are going off here. Like, we are going to Athena and Mercedes. It is happening. I don't know if it's happening at Dynasty. I feel like if you did it right, you could actually make it main event all in because it is in Athena's hometown.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that match is coming down, and it's coming down soon. These are two people who in AEW ROH are undefeated for long periods of time. So, wow.
Whenever they do it, it's going to be a banger. I really think, I think you're right. I think they're going to save it for All In. Because, in Dallas, it's going to hit the best there. Athena being a hometown Dallas native. So whenever it happens, I'm on board for it. And I can't wait. I know Joshi G would agree too. She really enjoyed, especially how much time the women got because of that damn storm. I can tell you that.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. The other thing we didn't mention about Moxley and Copeland before we start talking about Megan and Stat was that the patriarchy interfered at the end of the match. So clearly Cope is pivoting towards Christian again, and Mox is heading towards Swerve, and it felt like kind of a clean break, which I liked. It'll be interesting to see what becomes of Jay White.
I think they really need to get some momentum with him for sure, but
Yeah.
I mean, they'll find something for Jay. He's been really fitting into everything that they've been throwing at him. It's just I don't think he's going to be the center of the heavyweight scene right away.
No.
But as long as they keep him in doing stuff that's at least interesting and building on his personality, I think that's the most they can really do with Jay for the next couple of months at least.
Yeah. I am a huge Jay White fan. He is really figuring out how to be a babyface, and I never thought I'd say that. That's so weird to even think of still. But he's done so many little things. He's shown what an unhinged sense of humor he really has as a babyface, and he doesn't really act all that different. He could turn on Cope. He could. There's a whole bunch of things that could happen. We'll just see what they are. I'm excited for him because they've shown a commitment to his character. He's not going to just be off TV,
No.
So
Oh, fuck no.
We'll see where it goes next. Main eventing the night. Toni Storm comes out. Timeless Toni Storm, the queen, the one, the only timeless Toni Storm, greatest wrestler all around in AEW currently.
She's reaching like crazy heights right now, man. Ever since she won that title, she's just been dominating AEW.
It's insane. I think by the end of the year, I think it's entirely possible she could be the biggest star in that company. And that the women's division would have to come a long way, but I have never seen somebody who can make more out of 1 minute of mic time than Toni Storm. She's raunchy, she's hilarious, but she's like in bounds, like you go listen to an old rock promo from 1999. I was probably laughing at the time. I don't laugh at it anymore, It's homophobic, transphobic, probably, like all kinds of shit, right? It just
like a lot of Rock's earlier promos for sure.
right. It doesn't age well at all, The Rock. And so Toni is like cutting almost like The Rock style promos where there's tons of sexual innuendo and tons of, below the belt shots at people and stuff. But she's fucking hilarious. What did she say? What did she say to Excalibur? She's like, "Oh, you could do with having your sword pulled out of the stone."
It's clean.
It's clean,
but it's still emasculating. I love it.
She's amazing, man. She's amazing. So she's at ringside. Then Kris Statlander and Megan Bayne come down and beat the fuck out of each other for a solid 12 minutes. Toni, so Megan Bayne has attacked like a bunch of people. She's attacked Stat before. She's attacked Thunder Rosa. She beat Thunder Rosa on Collision in a very good match as well. And then
they've been putting a lot of stock into her.
A lot of stock. They clearly see a lot of, she's going somewhere. Penelope Ford is kind of involving herself in this match. I love that Bayne and Penelope are put together. I think that's a fun combination of people. but Penelope gets caught interfering. Tony is doing commentary at the ring. She is cracking up everybody at the table so hard that I watched the live on Max, and then I watched the replay on AEW Plus so I could watch without commercials. And the fucking picture-in-picture commentary this week, like, they can't get words out because Tony's cracking them up so hard. Like,
they're gonna start having to make this a regular thing. Get her out there at least once every other week and have her do commentary.
She's good at everything. Like, she's just good at everything. And I really do believe, like, she, Mercedes, you know, you have Becky Lynch, you have Charlotte. I think, like, those are the, like, legendary figures in American women's wrestling over the last 10 years. And Tony has put her name on that Mount Rushmore. You know, it's like, and I think she may surpass them all over time. So we'll see. But anyway, these two beat
been a ride so far. You're for real about that. I mean, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I mean, it's just every week, it's just something new to talk about with Tony, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. She is that good.
I remember when they first did this gimmick, and I was like, it'll be good, but it can probably only last for a short time, you know? Because, like, how long can you keep this fresh? And every week for a year and a half now, she tops herself. She just, if she's on my screen, like, I don't text, I don't post, I don't do shit. I just pay attention.
No.
Because
I know what you mean.
Greatness is about to happen.
Attention.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as Stat and Bayne are beating the shit out of each other, Tony's doing commentary, and Bayne, being the big bitch she is, in the words of Tony, heartlessly throws Statlander into Tony. And Tony hits the ground. Statlander's dazed. And Megan Bayne gives her the Fate's Descent. What's it called? Is that what she calls the F5 that she does? Something Descent. But she does that to Stat on the floor, rolls her back in the ring, and does it again in the ring, gets the 1, 2, 3. Tony stands up on the table, starts taping her fist. Throwback to that fucking amazing Hollywood ending match. And runs in the ring, just goes right at her. They start brawling. Tony clotheslines her over the top rope. She says the harder they are, the bigger they come. And
cinema, baby, yeah.
Cinema. And then she says, you and me will have a date at Dynasty. I will make your thighs shake, your body quake, and I will walk out with this strap on. And
that's one for the headline right there.
My God, how does she do this every time, man? So
she's just prints money every damn week.
She's the best TV wrestler in the world right now. I really believe it. Like, no one's cutting better promos than her. Her matches are great. Like, her and Mariah, really, those last 2 matches, holy shit.
Oh yeah, bangers for sure. And I mean, she's just like it's not, even if she stays within this kind of like Hollywood style sort of get up, I mean, she could it's something she could evolve, you know. She could move on to different eras, different film studios, different everything. She could do a spaghetti western one day, man. I don't know. she could do a lot of stuff with this, like, you know, position that she's put herself in. And it's just like every week, you know, you wonder how Toni Storm is going to contribute to the show. And that's very good quality for any wrestler. So yeah, all the praise to Toni.
Yeah, when she's not on the show now, it's like not having Kenny or not having, you know, really, like, one of the people you tune in to see is not on the show.
Really?
Yeah, sure. I know. Swerve, somebody like that. He wasn't on this week. I was like, where's Swerve?
Yeah,
you know. But real quick, we're going to preview the Dynasty card. There's only 3 matches announced so far, but they all look real good. We got Jon Moxley and Swerve for the AEW Men's World title. We've got...
that's going to be wild.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. We've got Megan Bayne challenging Toni Storm for the Women's World title. And I'm very curious to see where this goes.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where to go with that.
Do they Lesnar Bayne and just put her over? Like, it almost like feels like it's too soon for her to lose.
It is too soon for her to lose.
Yeah. So do we see Toni losing? She can take the loss more than Bayne can, probably. So it's an interesting that's one of those things
true.
where Toni's not running away from making a hard decision on this match. Nobody's going to be protected. Somebody's going to lose.
She could always lose dirty. Like Mariah could interfere and Megan picks up the victory, albeit not intentionally, withheld, but wins nonetheless. I think that could be a safe way to do it. But
or
we'll
Penelope Ford, or any number of other things could happen.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she overcomes one of them, but then, somebody else like Mina is like the third one that tries and she's successful.
Right.
There's a lot of ways they could get interference in there to get her, to get Megan a win without completely crushing Toni, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but Toni's the most decorated women's champion in AEW. I expect that to continue. This is not her last title reign. So if this one's shorter, that's fine. And honestly, Megan Bayne is your champion. You could do a lot worse. Like, she could do it. I just think she needs a character and she needs to talk. That's all.
Yep.
And then, as we alluded to earlier, you get Speedball Mike Bailey, who I love, by the way, and think is a great wrestler.
Yeah, Speedball.
From the great country of Canada that your wife accused me of hating and talking bad about. And then on social media, these fucking jerks fucking all say, I don't know why Blade hates Canada so much. And Lance Storm had to bail me out of that, okay? And Lance took my word for it because I said I'm friends with like 3 Canadians.
You can always count on Lance.
Yeah, Lance came through for me like a real Canadian.
That's right.
Anyway, so I don't hate Canada. I like Speedball Mike Bailey. And Ricochet are going to face Kenny Omega in a triple threat. Those are the 3 matches they've announced so far. This is coming together very nicely.
I mean, that's already enough to get me to buy the damn thing. I mean, just those 3. I mean, they're going to be wild as hell, all 3 of them.
If you made this a 5-match card and you just like put 2 more matches on it, I would have paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if you
I'm
just
already
make those
in.
3 matches an hour long each, like, okay.
And I will do it. I will do it. Yes, I will do it. Also, just real quick, the one thing that's been mentioned a few times that's not getting a whole lot of play yet, but even at the end of his match on Dynamite, Ospreay's looking at that all-in sign all over again. He's doing the whole WrestleMania point at the sign thing. The winner of the Owen, as we know, gets a shot at the AEW Men's World Championship. Hanger, thank you for encouraging all of us to call it the Men's World Championship. I think that's cool. Hanger announced that he's joining that tournament. Ospreay's already in. Jay White heavily alluded to being in it. Maybe MJF is alluding to being in it as well. That is a stacked fucking... I mean, that's half the bracket, and that's stacked right there.
Yeah, that's already a pretty big bracket if you're gonna just go start with that. But I mean, there's obviously a lot of people they could beef it up with, but I really think that Ospreay will at least make it to the semifinal. I mean, even if he doesn't win, for sure. They're going to want to put him in as many of those matches, one-on-one matches that Ospreay excels in, and they're gonna strap aboard the Ospreay train, and they're gonna ride with it for sure.
For sure, and maybe you get some other people. Orange Cassidy could be in it. You could have Kyle Fletcher could be in it.
Well, yeah, they've been pushing him pretty damn hard as well, late too. For sure, and his old his partner
Davis, Mark Davis.
Yeah, like they had Mark Davis was on TV a lot, Collision and Dynamite this past week. So
he looked real good in that 4-way match. Holy shit,
he did for sure. He's a good guy to have doing the kind of things they have. The stuff that they have Hobbs doing, throwing weight around in those multi-man matches, he's been very effective at it, and they've been giving Davis a lot of TV time the past week.
Davis has proved to me he could be a great singles wrestler. And I was really concerned for him after he got injured and then came back, because Kyle's like got this whole thing going now, and there's no slowing that down.
You didn't want him to get genetied.
I didn't want him to get Gennetti. He's too good for that. So
that's for sure.
And he seems like he has his shit together, unlike Gennetti. So you don't want to see a guy get Gennetti who clearly doesn't deserve that.
No. Hell no.
Dynamite was fantastic. AEW's on a fucking roll right now. New Japan's
Big
exploding. Time. Lots of exciting stuff going on in the good graps, baby.
Yeah, boy.
I got a question for you, and we're going to have to ask it. We're going to have to ask you when we come back, man. Just listen to the pretty sounds. Listen to the pretty sounds.
All right, here we go.
Okay. We're back. And Joshi J.
Yes, sir.
I got something that I want to talk about that I think is overlooked in wrestling today.
Okay.
And we got about 10 minutes to discuss it.
Okay. Let's do it.
I'm reading 2 historical books. You were on the first time you were here. We talked about the Goldust Trio and their importance and significance in the creation of modern wrestling, right?
Right.
Currently reading a book called Ballyhoo, which is about the dawn of American pro wrestling and really the dawn of American professional sports through the eyes of a wrestling promoter named Jack Curley, who kind of precedes the Goldust Trio. He was the guy who maybe brought it to a point where the Goldust Trio could take the baton and run, right?
Right. He operated mostly out of New York, but he booked all over the country. He was mostly famous for booking the rematch between Frank Gotch and George Tackenschmidt. I think that was the biggest event that he pulled. It was at the Chicago Stockyards. Yep. 1908 or 9, I believe. But yeah, Jack Curley. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, okay. So that's one of the books. The other book I'm reading is Hooker by Lou Thez. And before you gross asses get too far down that road, it's referring to people like could snap your muscles and tendons and shit with a single hold. That's a hooker, okay?
Choke your ass out.
It's really fascinating to hear about that time in wrestling from somebody who actually wrestled in that time, right? So what people may not know is Ed Strangler Lewis managed Lou Thez later in his career and kind of made him his heir apparent. And Lou Thez was the first, like, truly great NWA
internationally famous world champion, like internationally like respected from the United States. Like he was the first god tier professional wrestler. Essentially.
Absolutely. And what's very apparent reading these books is that in the beginning, Greco-Roman wrestling and all that stuff, it went from being like a very long, boring thing that was a real sport where people got hurt all the time and people got bored all the time.
Russell Tussle.
To being a work sport run by con men who were deceiving people who were gambling on it. And they were placing bets on the guy they knew was going to win, who was the underdog. And they literally go into detail in Ballyhoo about guys who would go literally move to a town, set up, get a job like as a bartender, and they would hustle an entire town and shake them every red cent out of this town that they could. Frank Gotch even did this. Martin Farmer Burns did this shit.
Yep.
They would shake them down for every dime they had, and they would leave town as soon as they started to be found out. And they would make $10,000 in 1902. You know, like that's a lot of money back then. That's like $100,000 now, at least.
Oh, they were rich for sure. And I mean, that's another reason it was practical for them to hitch rides on carnival circuits, because they would come and go and they'd be at it. They'd give them just enough time, enough of a window to pull this kind of stuff. I mean, hell, they would wrestle and basically before wrestling rings became the norm, and they would wrestle on stages at these carnivals. They'd have a curtain that would like hang behind the stage, and there would always be a guy back there like with a club or a wrench. And if their hooker just by whatever chance was having any problems with one of these locals that they, issue these open challenges to, he would just guide their head over to the back by that curtain. Boom.
Knock him out, pin him.
Fuck out.
Yeah. That the guy behind the curtain's called a policeman. So yeah, it's wrestling was wild, okay? Wrestling was wild, and there's a whole bunch more interesting shit that I will get into if we have time, but my point in saying all of this is the stuff you hear like from people like Dave Meltzer, who says the point of wrestling is to make money and make a lot of money, right? He's not wrong. In America, that has been
It always has been.
That always has been the point of making money. However, Lou Thesz is incredibly important because pro wrestling in Japan didn't really exist till the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky Dozan was the first national wrestling hero, and he rose to prominence defeating Americans for the Japanese people. He rose to prominence, and who was his first biggest opponent? It was Lou Thesz. He beat Lou Thesz for the NWA International title when Lou Thesz wasn't the world champion, and made a career out of beating Americans like him, the Destroyer, these other people. But the Japanese, even though they understood that it was a work and then they understood that it was showbiz, they always treated it like it was an art form and an athletic competition of some type, right?
Absolutely.
They never saw it as anything less than authentic, even though it's completely not authentic, right? Similarly, Lucha Libre from Mexico, very inspirational to the Japanese wrestlers as well, like Jushin Liger and people like that who changed the business. But
big time.
Yeah, Tiger Mask, Sayama and all those guys too. But that's been around since before American pro wrestling has been around, really, as a formal thing, the 1860s, okay? So they say pro wrestling in America is descended from the Civil War, where the soldiers would just wrestle around to kill time or, stave off boredom or whatever. But the first luchador is known, and that was around in the 1860s. Okay, so around the same time as the Civil War.
Yeah.
And Lucha Libre, what we now call CMLL was EMLL before, has been around since the 30s, 1933.
The CMLL is the oldest promotion in the world.
Yep. Salvador Ludarov, something like that. Founder. So they also know that wrestling's a work. They always kind of have. And that doesn't diminish it at all. Okay. And sure, they want to make money, but it's something more than that. It's like tradition. It's kind of got a almost like spiritual component to it. So does Japan, right? Fighting spirit, strong style, King's Road, all that.
Yeah.
And my point in saying all of this is we kind of have that now in AEW, where we have this billionaire who doesn't need to get over on a bunch of marks to make a bunch of money. He is already rich. He loves wrestling in this way that no one this side of Paul Heyman maybe has ever run a wrestling promotion in the United States who loved it the way Tony Khan does. Vince McMahon spent all of his time trying to call it something besides wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And
sports entertainment or whatever. Just like anything to make it like sound less phony than it is and still do phony baloney stuff. I mean, I never really understood the point he was going for with it, but you're right. Tony Khan has gone a completely different way. He's much more rooted in the traditional aspects of these types of promotions that you mentioned, and they're much more interested and really showcasing these types of qualities, these types of styles, the way they're intended to be. They go a lot further than really any other promotion has gone at this level, to this extent, for sure.
I guess my point in bringing this up today is like there is this narrative online that like blah, blah, blah promotion doesn't know how to tell stories. blah, blah, blah promotion. These guys don't know how to work. These guys don't. AEW actually has more in common with pro wrestling tradition than WWE does. WWE is like this, and if you like what they do, fine. But it's like a melodrama. Everything's a melodrama. Everything is super dramatic. And the matches are just kind of a way of advancing or not a story and a character. And somebody put this to me really well the other day, where it's like they actually don't even really tell many stories. It's all about just creating really memorable moments, right?
Yeah. Moments. And they have DVDs called Moments, literally. Like it's called OMG Moments or whatever moments. Like, I mean, shit on yourself moments, whatever. I mean, they have like whole freaking like libraries of stuff that's about moments. So you couldn't be more correct. And I mean, for me personally, like I believe they sort of got stuck into a funk that worked very well in the 1990s. You know, with all the other types of programming that was really grabbing ratings at the time, like Jerry Springer.
Right.
And, you know, I know it's always a program that gets brought up, but I mean, like, even like The Simpsons was a lot, you know, edgier at the time. And whenever that's just began to get a little bit too mainstream, you had South Park. And then, you know, you had a lot of these things that were like really like quick hitting and really to the point, shock you and then get the hell out really fast kind of type, bang, bang, bang style delivery. And I think WWE really just kind of got wrapped up in that. They kind of made that sort of round the obstacle course kind of type delivery their norm. And you know, it's like, you're right. I mean, what is the story really about in the end? Like what you know, groundbreaking, you know, message are you really delivering to your fans that they're not getting anywhere else? I don't really think there's anything. I mean, what you are is a freaking wrestling company. The one thing you have that you do better than everyone in other types of industries, mind you, is wrestling. You do physical theater better than freaking anyone. So like, this is your industry. This is what you commit to, but they would rather try to, you know, be more synonymous with, I guess, bad B movies and stuff. Because
I mean, a shittier version of a WB show, basically.
But that's like the quality acting you're getting out of like most wrestling. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Right.
Not everyone is Tony Storm. You know what I mean?
Well, like, and she's the vast exception, I would say. Like, I think she could be an actress, or like she has a future there if she wants to.
Practically. I think it's a matter of time, honestly. I just hope not for a very long time. But
Me too.
But I'm selfish. That's why I want Tony to stay in this industry for the foreseeable future. Just and milk it fucking dry, man. And
man.
Then after that, go make your money. I gonna. But I know I agree with what I'm on board with that. I get what you're saying, and for sure, I think that Tony Khan gets it. I think that he's a big enough wrestling fan himself to run a promotion, to have his finger on the pulse for what most contemporary wrestling fans really respect about these products, what they are craving, what they want to see like on their televisions. I think he knows that just as well as any wrestling fan in this country does. So who better to be running it than a billionaire freaking wrestling nerd, man? I mean, I think we're in good hands in AEW.
Absolutely. And that's really the thing is, you know, do I love billionaires? No, but it's actually great that this is the scenario because wrestling is expensive to run. He can afford to take risks and fail even at times, and it won't sink the company. He's had the money and the connections to maintain AEW, even when the product was kind of in transition, you know, even when it got knocked off course, even though he's been learning as he goes. And, you know, he didn't have any experience running a wrestling company when this started.
And he's going to make more mistakes.
Of course he is.
And it shouldn't surprise anyone, like whenever he does. But hey, at least as long as they're mistakes that make people talk about AEW, I think you can write them off. I mean, I think you can even minimize their effects as a mistake per se. I mean, if like for instance, a lot of people didn't agree with them showing the CM Punk thing with Jack Perry backstage. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't. But one thing that it did do is it was making everybody in the wrestling world talk about it for like a week. It was making the words AEW come off of the ends of people's tongues, posting it all over their websites and all over their podcasts like this. So
absolutely.
They're fine. They're fine, basically.
They're going to be absolutely fine. And you know what else was fine is having you on the show today, sir.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you being here so much. Joshi J, not just Joshi G's husband, a damn fine man, a good person, and a lot of fun to talk graps with. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm Blade Daly.
I am Joshi J.
Pro wrestling forever.